Hello everyone, thank you so much for coming back and joining me. If you're new, you are really welcome. Now in tonight's video, it's a really positive video. I am so happy because I absolutely love Star Wars, as a lot of you will know, and the new series, which is of course The Mandalorian, that Jon Favreau has been working on. And Jon Favreau, I think he is amazing. And basically why I wanted to do this video was because I was just reading on comicbook.com, you know, as you do, and I found this really interesting article on The Mandalorian, and I was so excited that I wanted to just make a quick video and talk about it. So, Jon Favreau reveals the advice Star Wars creator George Lucas gave him, which sounds awesome. So I'm just going to read here. The new series, The Mandalorian, will dive deep into the seedy underworld of the galaxy, with Jon Favreau serving as showrunner with Dave Filoni on Star Wars The Mandalorian. Now just really quickly guys, I just wanted to say that both Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau, I just think that they have so much care for the fan base of Star Wars, and I think that that's what's so great about them, because they do have, you know, this huge passion and care for Star Wars. And just going on here guys, we still don't know much about the upcoming Star Wars show, with only those lucky enough to attend Star Wars Celebration earlier this year. I would have loved to have went guys, but I live in Ireland, so maybe some year. So, you know, anybody who went to that would have got a sneak peek at the show. But Star Wars The Mandalorian is harkening back to the first film in the saga, made by writer and director George Lucas. And I don't know, guys, how many of you watch, you know, the Clone Wars series, but I absolutely love that show. I love the Clone Wars. Favreau spoke to GQ Middle East about the upcoming series, revealing what he had learned from George Lucas and how he applied that knowledge to Star Wars The Mandalorian. And this is what he said. "We had a long talk with each other," Favreau explained. "One thing he said to me was, remember John, the real audience for all stories and all myths is the kids that are coming of age, because he's really a Joseph Campbell adherent." Campbell, if you're unaware, was a prominent scholar who studied literature and mythology, and first coined the phrase and the corresponding motifs of the hero's journey, which had a huge influence on Star Wars A New Hope. And just to let you all know, guys, in case you didn't know this, Star Wars A New Hope is my favourite Star Wars movie, but it is hard to kind of choose, because I'm not going to lie, guys, I do love Star Wars, but if I had to really, like, narrow it down and someone was like, what is your favourite Star Wars movie? It's A New Hope. And then we're going on, guys. We enjoy the stories as adults, but really, storytelling is about impacting the wisdom on the previous generations onto the children who are becoming adults, and giving them a context for how to behave, how to learn the lessons of the past without making the mistakes on their own. There's that hope that you can teach them how to avoid all the hardship, but garner all the wisdom, Favreau explained. And oh my gosh, guys, that is just, wow, that sounds amazing, like wow. The showrunner is also getting help from Thor Ragnarok director Taika Waititi. He is both directing an episode of Star Wars The Mandalorian as well as voicing one of the new droids in the series. Waititi spoke to the Television Critics Association Winter Press Tour earlier this year, teasing that fans can what they can expect from the series. For most kids growing up with those films, Boba Fett, I love Boba Fett by the way guys, oh my gosh I love him, was one of the most favourite characters, even though he's barely in films. I agree. Waititi said just the idea of bounty hunters, again, agree. The helmets are so cool. Just getting to see characters like that and getting to shoot with them is pretty cool. Sorry guys, I just love Boba Fett in case anybody didn't realise that. Waititi also added that Jon Favreau's a genius and so smart and so good at what he does. I completely agree with you, Taika Waititi, and creating these worlds, 100%. The scripts are really great. It was really fun doing something in the Star Wars universe. It was every kid's dream just to see a stormtrooper. When you're doing these things with like 50 or 60 of them, it's pretty amazing. I loved it. And Star Wars The Mandalorian launches alongside the Disney Plus streaming service on the 12th of November. I am so excited for this show, guys. Honestly, I remember making, I think, 1 or 2 videos about it back when I heard the news. And you know what? I think this is absolutely fantastic. And I love Jon Favreau. You know, I'm a huge fan of his. I will always see him as, you know, Monica's boyfriend. From Friends, oh my gosh. And also he was in a comedy that I love called The Breakup with Vince Vaughn, and he is in so many movies, and he's just such a likeable, you know, he's got so much charisma, and he's just a likeable character. You know, he's not the best actor out there, let's face it, but I mean, he is good and he is very likeable. And what, as I was saying, what is great about him and the like of Dave Filoni is, you know, they are so for Star Wars, and that's what we need, guys. We need people who are passionate about it, have a love for it, and actually genuinely care about how kids are going to feel about it, how we as adults can still feel about Star Wars. And you know what, guys, there is a reason why George Lucas has the loyalty and the trust and love of millions of fans the whole way around the world. And you know, I know that Star Wars is fantasy, right? So of course, you know, it's not real. I know it's fantasy. But the thing about George Lucas and why it's awesome to get advice from him, not because, you know, he was the start of it all, but because he actually put so much reality and truth into the actual religion of the Force that I believe. George Lucas is a man that's literally ahead of his time, guys. And you know what? Jon Favreau, keep listening to the man. And you know, well done for actually just taking his advice, because there's so many people that don't take advice, like the likes of Rian Johnson. He should have done this, you know. And if Jon Favreau didn't care about the fans, he wouldn't have took this advice from George Lucas. And the fact that he did is great news, you know what I mean? Of course he was going to take advice from George Lucas. I mean, who wouldn't? Besides, obviously, Rian Johnson would be the answer to that one. But anyways, you know, at the end of the day, you want to listen to George Lucas. I mean, you know, Rian Johnson didn't even listen to Mark Hamill. He even said, I had many and many different ideas of different directions. And, you know, he tried telling them this probably isn't the best direction to go in. He didn't want to listen, guys. He did not want to listen, because you cannot speak to the man. But anyways, guys, it's great news, because, you know, Star Wars, you know, has been looking really bad for a long while, and to be honest, it has been quite a downer for me, I will be honest. But you know what, I've been sitting rewatching through the Clone Wars and all, guys, and I love watching the Clone Wars. Might even start watching some Star Wars Rebels after that, I'll have to see, if I get the chance. But anyways, I'm going to leave this on a positive note. This is a very positive video from me. You know, it's not really often that I think I can do a lot of positive Star Wars videos, but this is a really happy video for me. I'm really glad that I read this article. I was actually just about to get a cup of tea and go to bed, and I read this and I thought, no, I have to come on. How can I not come on and talk about something that's so beautiful and positive, and that I'm passionate about? Let me know what you think in the comments. I think all the advice that he has revealed that he got is fantastic. And it's great that, you know, they are speaking with each other, and, you know, making sure that it's all about the fans, and making sure that we're going to be getting the best from Star Wars. So let me know in the comments what you think of this, guys. I'm really happy about it, and I will speak to you all in my next video. And of course, I can't forget to say this, guys, especially since it's a Star Wars video, but don't forget that the Force will be with you always.